Good morning, guys. Today we will be learning about box plots in Vision, Lesson 8-3, page 468.
How can you draw a box plot? Think about this question during the lesson. Helen wants to display the lengths of 15 fish she caught. How can she use the data to make a box plot? A box plot shows a distribution of data values on a number line. Why do you think a box plot will help you see the distribution of the data more clearly than the table? Since the data will be shown on the plot above a number line, you will be able to see how the data are distributed. The table does not visually show this.
So the table obviously has a bunch of random numbers that describe the length of the fish. So we're going to go ahead and start with step 1, which, let's start over. So here you have, again, your table, and step 1 is to put all the values in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to drag them. Obviously you would be writing them down. So I'm going to start with the least, the smallest number, which are 7s, and then I see a 9, and then I see a few 10s, I see an 11, I see 2 13s, 3 13s, a 14, 2 15s, 17, 18, and 22. So step 1 is to put your data set in order from least to greatest.
Find the median, minimum, and maximum values of the data. What is the median?
Select your answer.
So here, I went ahead and I already selected the median, which is 13. And well, how do we know it's 13? If you notice here, I went ahead and wrote the list of numbers from least to greatest. And you notice I circled the 13 because that 13 is in the middle. And if you notice, on the left side, my group has 7 numbers. 7, 7, 9, 10, 10, 11, 13. That group, the lower half, has 7. The upper half has 13, 14, 15, 15, 17, 18, 22. Also 7 numbers. So when you locate the median, in this case it's 13, you need to make sure that you have an even amount of numbers on both sides. So this group has 7, this group has 7, right? So that clearly tells you, it clearly tells you that your median is 13.
The median is 13. Find the median for each half. Quartiles are values that divide a data set into 4 equal parts. Draw the box plot. Show a number line with an appropriate scale. A box between the first and third quartiles, and draw the box plot. Show a number line with an appropriate scale.
All right, let me rewind.
median for each half.
I'm going to pause right there and explain that right there. So earlier I wrote on the whiteboard all these 7 numbers, right? And I identified my lower half. Right, you see those 7 numbers are my lower half, which gives me one number in the middle because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 numbers. An odd amount will always give you one number in the middle, so in this case it's the 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In the upper half, right, this other group, because again, this 13 is dividing my group into 2 separate groups, my lower half, my upper half. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So again, I have 7 numbers. 7, well, it's an odd amount. That means that I should have one in the middle. So here I have 15, and I'm going to double check really quick. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, right? So I know that it's 15 because I have 3 and 3 on this group. So I go again, I'm going to double check this one, the 10. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, right? I have the same amount on both sides of the 10 and on both sides of the 15, which means those are my numbers that are in the middle. And those are called your first quartile, the first quartile, and the third quartile. Okay, so let's see.
Quartiles are values that divide a data set into 4 equal parts. Draw the box plot. Show a number line with an appropriate scale. A box between the first and third quartiles, and a vertical segment that shows the median. Draw segments that extend from the box to the minimum and to the maximum values. Why do you suppose a box plot is also referred to as a box and whisker plot? What does the box represent?
All right, so let's look at the box, how it was created. So the first line that you see here in the middle is your median, right, which was 13. That came from the list, the middle number that we circled. And then we found and circled 2 other numbers, the 10 and the 15, right? So we draw another line, and then you form your box. So our box came from the median and the 2 other numbers that were circled, that were in the middle, from the upper half and the lower half. That's why they're labeled the first quartile and the third quartile. Then we draw our line to the biggest number, which is known as the maximum. In our list, our biggest number, right? So this is my list again. I wrote it out earlier, and we see that 22 is our biggest number. I go back to my list, and I see that 7 was my smallest number. So here, my other whisker goes to the 7, which is known as your minimum, your small number. Maximum, big number. Okay, so I'm going to explain. So now that we have the box plot, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 sections, just like a dollar. A box plot is broken into 4 equal groups. They're equal. I know you might be thinking, well, this looks smaller than this. Well, yes, all that means is that the data from here to here is not as spread out, because if we look here, we clearly see that it goes 7, 8, 9, 10. Over here, this line is longer and it's more spread out. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Our data set, our data values are just more spread out. But we always have an even amount of things. So if this box plot was describing, well, actually, I was describing, okay. Well, it's an odd number, but let's say this box plot was describing 12 fish. So how many fish would be in this first quarter? Well, if there's 12 fish, what's 12 divided by 4? That means that in this group, we would have 3 fish. In this group, another 3 fish. That makes 6. In this group, we would have another 3 fish. That makes 9. And in this last group, it would be another 3 fish, which would be 12. But all it's saying that these 3 fish over here in this long line, it's just saying that they were a little bit longer and they were bigger, right? Because this is describing how long the fish were, the measurements. These 3 fish were a little smaller because if you notice, their measurements are smaller numbers, 7, 8, 9, or 10, right? So give it a try. Before I let you go, I'm gonna go over the steps for a box plot. So steps, box plot. First, you're gonna order your data set from least to greatest. Second, you're going to find the median, which is the middle number. Third, find the middle of the lower half of the group, which is called your first quartile. Fourth, find the middle of the upper half of the group, which is known as your third quartile. And then fifth, you find the minimum and maximum. Okay, so magic word. I'll leave it here. I'm about to tell you what your magic word is. The magic word is the type of animal that the table is describing. So what was the table talking about? Was the table talking about snakes, tigers, fish, turtles? Right? One of those is a magic word. So make sure you are watching the video. Bye-bye.